this is an old school X2 race engine. Yeah, should be the hot setup. What's JetSki and JSBs? This is Jacob here with another engine. I made a little brief video showing this before, but now this is gonna kind of get its own little detailed video. So this right here is actually, I got this engine from a guy who did he raced X2s in the 80s. Yeah, basically this is an old school X2 race engine, and I got a few of these together. And this one, I finally figured out that this had a 750 small pin crank in the 650 cases, and then it has this 650 cylinder that's bored to 82 millimeter. So that's like 2 millimeter big bore 750 pistons is what I got to put in it. And then I have this spacer plate that I made, and so I measured it out so that with the two gaskets it's going to shave about 20 thousandths off the base. So with this stock head it should make a little higher compression. So but yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't think that you don't see stuff like this very often. Not a lot of big 650 builds. You probably, I'm thinking that the video of my 720 big bore stroker 650 SX engine, I think that probably made it onto the internet by now. But one of the motors I got with this is a 2 millimeter stroker crank with I think it was 80 millimeter bore, so it came out to about a 720 cc 650, and I had twin Mikuni carburetors off of a Superjet on there, and it ran really good. It was really strong. I had that in the Ripper 550. So this one basically, it's stock SXR diameter pistons with the 750/800 SXR stroke crank. So this is like a 4 millimeter stroker 650 or stock stroke 750/800 crank. So yeah, I'll start putting it together a little bit and show you a little bit more. Alright, so being that this is a really, really big bore, this part of the case is hogged out, so I have to take my little razor blade and cut the excess gasket off of here. I already trimmed the spacer, so I just gotta take this and go right up to the spacer edge. So it's a little different when you got it a setup like this. It's definitely, there's not a lot of other people or the internet to go to like look at what other people are doing, so some of it you gotta make up as you go. As you can see, this case has been tunnel ported. It's had the bottoms been clearanced. You know, somebody probably just took this on like a Bridgeport mill and just centered it up in the piston area, and then just had like a fly cutter that spun the whole circle all the way down. So it's kind of cool. You don't see stuff like this. It'll be interesting to see if it's as fast as a new 800 SXR engine. So, and I have one, so hopefully we'll be able to try them somehow back to back. But either way, I'm thinking this will be really interesting. But this one's going to be all ported and high compression, and so I don't know. But you guys got to think that's kind of cool. What do you think? Will it be cool? Will it be cool? Tell me. Put in a comment if you think it'll be cool. So when you're dealing with old racing stuff and you don't know what the heck stuff is what, is this a 2 millimeter stroke crank? Is it a stock 650 crank? Well, this is the stock crank that was in these cases. And as you can see, it's snapped off right here. I have the other side of it somewhere, but at first I was looking at this and I was like, I noticed that the holes for the wrist pin were a bigger diameter, and I thought, oh, maybe they're just drilled out 650 rods and crank. But then I looked, and you can't see it on that side, but the other side of the rod that doesn't want to be on the camera is a 3705. So I tried to figure out 3705. What is a stock 3705 rod? And so I figured out it is this small pin crank. So I didn't even know it. I had no idea what kind of crank was in here. I thought I was like screwed because I accidentally bought small pin 750 pistons, and I thought that they were going to work with a 650 crank, but the wrist pins are smaller on a 650 than a 750 small pin. So I was like, man, what do I do? So basically my only option was to get a 750 small pin crank, and that just so happens to be what was in these cases before. So yeah, interesting how I had to figure that out, but yeah, that's how it is. Yes. Alright guys, so I can't remember if I said or not, but I am using Wiseco forged pistons on these. 2mm overbore 750 small pin pistons. And so I got those assembled on there, and I'll show you what the porting looks like on my cylinder. So it's got the really long window on the back. I don't know what any of this stuff is called. These sleeves are oversized, which basically they had to mill these holes out to a bigger bore and then put the oversized sleeves in. These might just be 750 sleeves with the legs chopped off, but I'm not going to measure the ports or anything. I don't know, but it looks like it was done by somebody who at least put a lot of care into it. But I'm gonna hone these out before I assemble it. But really, they're in pretty good shape. So, but yeah, this is gonna be all the footage I have to ever look at this for if I ever want to remember what these look like. So yeah, looks like the exhaust is widened quite a bit. Yeah, maybe I should get a stock one and look at it. Yeah, I don't feel like it. Alright, you ducks. I have a stalker for comparison here. So this is a stock 650 jug. So yeah, have a nice look in here. I'll flip it over so you can see what the exhaust ports kind of look like. So yeah, stock, whatever. Here's these guys, and then the exhaust side. If I flip it over, it's wow, yeah, that's way wider. Yes, that exhaust is way wider. So I just thought of something. I know I have some windowed pistons, the original pistons out of this thing. If I can find them, I'll show you those too. Alright, so this is one of the random pistons I got with all these big bore cylinders. So this is a custom setup in there. I'm assuming this is to get extra lubrication on the wrist pin. Maybe that explains why this back port is cut so low. But these guys, I knew I could cut that in there, but it was going to be a ton of work. These are actually a lot heavier casting, and so, or forging, I should say. There would have been a buttload of meat to take out of there, and I decided to just take the easy way and not do it. Here's a size comparison. Stock 650 versus these. So definitely, well, if I do this, you can see it's how about this? There's your size difference. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Alright guys, got the jug on there and spun it around, so it looks like the spacer plate's pretty good. I don't have a head gasket. I'm just going to use like a 750-800 head gasket with a stock head, and this should give me pretty decent compression. Maybe I'll do another clip and compression test it for this video. Comment if you think I'm going to do a compression test so you know for this video. I might if I remember. But and then for the carburetors, I don't have any reeds for this thing right now, but to show you, these are twin manifolds for the carburetors, which is what I'm using right here. Mikuni SBN 44s off of a GP 1200. They got the linkage, and so yeah, should be the hot setup. But anyway, that's about it.